Early in this 2022 NBA offseason, the Houston Rockets traded their starting center Christian Wood to the Dallas Mavericks. However, in this trade, the Rockets didn't really get a starting caliber big man in return, and the team also didn't address this positional vacancy in the draft or in free agency either. And naturally, I think the main reason for that is the franchise's full confidence in the talent of incoming second-year big man Alperen Sengun. And there's definitely a reason why the Rockets have invested that kind of confidence in Şengün, because looking at it as a rookie, despite the then 19-year-old center mostly coming off the bench while just averaging a little under 21 minutes per game, Şengün still has definitely shown glimpses of future star power. As despite not being selected to an all-NBA rookie team as part of a talent-heavy draft class, Şengün still averaged a well-rounded 9.6 points, 5.5 rebounds, and 2.6 assists per game, all while laying the groundwork as an integral member of the Houston Rockets youth movement, which is currently headlined by Jalen Green and Jabari Smith Jr. Well, again, Şengün's numbers as a rookie weren't eye-popping yet, but at the very least, I think we can say that the Rockets organization is definitely all in on Şengün's development, and this offseason, bits and pieces of that continued growth has been in full display for Şengün during his stint with the Turkish national team. As just recently, in 5 games of action during the 2022 Eurobasket, Şengün put up averages of 16.5 points, 8.2 rebounds, more than 2 assists, and more than 1 steal per game, while actually having a real imposing presence on the court. Well, the thing is, despite being a rebuilding team, I think the Houston Rockets might presumably want to avoid losing too many games again in 2022 to 2023 after spending the past 2 years at the bottom of the Western Conference, especially after landing 2 potential superstars in Jalen Green and Jabari Smith. And in my opinion, the team actually just might be able to accomplish that next season, especially with Alperen Sengun inevitably being promoted to a starting center role for the Rockets. But should we really expect Şengün to break out as a second-year player? That's what we'll talk about in this video. So what's good, guys? It's Eurobasket here, but before we continue, if you guys do enjoy the video, you can show your support for the channel by hitting that like button. It only takes a second of your time, but it will be much appreciated. So let's get to it. To me, aside from his brilliant playmaking ability, the most remarkable component of Alperen Sengun's rookie season was his ability to create his own shots quite effectively, despite the Houston Rockets having bad floor spacing and inconsistent decision-making from their ball handlers. Overall, according to NBA stats, almost 60% of Şengün's field goals as a rookie were unassisted, ranking him in the 97th percentile among all big men in the entire NBA in terms of self-creation. Well, sure, on the other hand, his 55.2 true shooting percentage was still 1.4 points below the league average. However, I think this is still a pretty good number, especially given the level of Houston's play and given Şengün's rookie status as well. But all in all, it's just hard to deny the tremendously high-quality self-creation skill that Şengün has, especially on the low block, as he's already an ultra-skilled post-up big who's fueled by a rare combination of flexibility and ability to absorb contact when facing defenders. Watching him play down low, you can really see how Şengün loves to bring the physicality against anyone, and also how he gets the better of his defenders by using his elite footwork package consisting of pivots, fakes, and spin moves. But the problem though is that such kind of genius creativity on the post is also kind of necessitated by his own physical limitations, because as we know, Şengün is only 6'9" with a 7-foot wingspan, and he's also not the bounciest of vertical leapers. This is one reason why Şengün only shot 61% at the rim as a rookie, which only ranks him in the 19th percentile among all NBA centers. However, I think we shouldn't ignore the fact that more than half of Şengün's buckets at the rim were self-created, putting him in the 96th percentile among all big men. And of course, watching his film only reinforces how much of a wizard this guy is with his back to the basket. Here, watch how Şengün beats his man on the post. As he pounds his way in, watch how he works on a crazy double pivot move, leaving his defender confused and unable to properly contest his shot. Overall, for a guy who's so young and so inexperienced, the level of Şengün's post game is already so advanced, which is why I'm just really excited to see how he even further elevates his unique interior skill set moving forward. But speaking of his ability to create his own shots, what's even scarier is that while playing for the Turkish national team this offseason, Şengün has also started to display the ability to hit some ridiculous shots away from the rim by way of some crazy one-legged fadeaway jumpers. Here, as Şengün attacks his man towards the paint, watch him plant his left foot and go for the nice double pivot before finally draining the tough one-legged jumper. Then here in another isolation play, watch Şengün back his man down with a couple of dribbles, creating just the right amount of space to be able to hit the one-legged mid-range fadeaway. Well, sure, we have yet to see Şengün make those shots consistently at the NBA level, but these exact types of jumpers, which are very hard to guard, could really become weapons for him once they become a more refined part of his offense. And that is something that should definitely get Houston Rockets fans excited. But on the other hand, if there's a part of Şengün's play away from the post which can be a real launching pad for future consistency, I think it's definitely his driving game. Cause last season, Şengün scored more than 58% of the time he drove to the basket, ranking him in the 66th percentile among all 180 players to register at least 200 drives to the rim. Well, Şengün already has a pretty good handle which allows him to get all the way to the basket coming from the perimeter, and while he might not look like the most explosive big man in terms of straight line driving ability, I feel really optimistic about his long-term potential as an elite rim attacker, especially coming off initiating fake dribble handoffs alongside Houston's explosive guards. Just like here, as soon as he gets the ball, Şengün fakes a dribble handoff for KPJ, then watch him take advantage of the slower Valanciunas before he goes for the nice sidestep all the way to finishing the reverse dunk. Then here, Şengün fakes another dribble handoff from the top of the key. You see him plant his body right into Hassan Whiteside's chest as he goes for the pirouette and the smooth finish at the rim. But looking further, the viability of Şengün's dribble drive game could also be considerably enhanced by his personal growth as a three-point shooter, because without a doubt, hard closeouts from defenders in the perimeter should only give Şengün more open driving lanes to attack the paint. However, the thing is, Şengün's 24.8% shooting mark from deep as a rookie is far from inspiring, and entering his second season, there are still questions regarding the functionality of his shooting stroke. However, emerging as a viable stationary shooting threat from deep just doesn't usually happen overnight for big men, especially for those who came into the NBA with minimal shooting reps just like Şengün. As during the 2020 to 2021 season before heading to the NBA, Şengün only attempted 35 total three-pointers in 37 games while playing in the Turkish league. But the good thing is, in Houston, Şengün did actually take strides in terms of his willingness to fire away from deep throughout the course of the year, as during the first 3.5 months of the season, Şengün only attempted 1.8 three-pointers per game, but that number has actually jumped to 2.5 attempts per game during the final 2.5 months of the season. Again, his jump shot is still a work in progress, but the first step to become better is definitely being willing to take the shots you're getting, and that's exactly what Şengün did to close his rookie year. But for sure, an improved three-point shot should not only amplify Şengün's driving game, but also his playmaking. Well, as we all know, the NBA has already been raving about Şengün's reputation as one of the most skilled and most creative passing big men in the league, and the stats also back up this reputation, as the 5.9 assists per 100 possessions that Şengün produced as a rookie also ranked as the 9th highest mark among all NBA centers. The thing is, Şengün already attracted a lot of double teams when he was in the post, but a lot of times when he was in the perimeter, defenders still opted to sag off him when he had the ball, and although this helped Şengün make use of a lot of passing lanes, I think this still highlighted the fact that defenders still don't treat him as a shooting threat. But once defenders start respecting his three-point shot even more, I think we can expect Şengün's passing numbers to just really skyrocket, cause as we already witnessed, Şengün is very good at finding holes in the defense, through which he's able to dish out some crazy one-handed no-look and behind-the-back dimes, even out of weird and narrow angles. And this offseason, Şengün has continued to display his crazy playmaking during his stint with the Turkish national team. Here, as he's about to attack the paint, watch Şengün force three guys to collapse towards the ball, giving him space to dish out the crazy one-handed behind-the-back pass. Again here, in another sequence from the low block, watch Şengün patiently wait for the help defense to come before he hits his cutting teammate with the ridiculous two-handed no-look pass. Overall, I expect Şengün's playmaking genius to just blossom even further from here on, especially now that he will have another passing outlet in Jabari Smith Jr., who's already a stationary threat from the perimeter and also a potential moving target near the rim. But aside from that, another thing that also gets me excited about Şengün's game is his defense. While obviously Şengün isn't expected to be an imposing rim protector with him being an undersized big, but still, this guy really has some incredible shot blocking timing and help side instincts around the basket, as well as some nice lateral movement together with the ability to recover when defending switches in the perimeter. And a testament to his underrated defense is the 68 total blocks he registered last season, which actually was the second most by any rookie, only behind Evan Mobley. Further, looking at the sequences he had this offseason during his stint for the Turkish team, it seems that Şengün has just been continuously working on his mobility and overall defensive awareness. Here, in this side screen play, you can see Şengün icing the ball handler, but anticipating the pass to the roll man, he immediately tries to close the gap towards the basket before finishing the play by jumping at the right time to block the shot from the weak side. Well, for sure, how Şengün scales up in spite of his undersized frame and underdeveloped jumper will be critical to his growth, but since the Christian Wood trade, Şengün's insane skill set and how it could be utilized in a bigger role for Houston has been populating my brain a lot. I don't know if I'm expecting too much from him, but with the continued evolution of his game and with the potent environment being built by the Rockets, I really think Alperen Sengun is going to have a breakout second season. So, are you guys thinking the same about Alperen Sengun next season? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comment section below, and again, if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing as well. Again, this is Real Balls, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.